Chapter 15, The Breaking Point. They didn't have to look for Malphas, he wasn't far. As the squad attempted to catch their breath, the chamber vibrated as Malphas suddenly returned. With fury, each of his steps cracked the scorched concrete beneath him. His wings folded inward with the metallic scrape of tortured steel. The Bible squad stood their ground. Marcus tightened his grip on his shield position. Kiara wiped tears she hadn't realized were falling. David whispered fragments of scripture just to keep his mind from shattering. Jasmine's voice trembled, but she lifted her chin. We're not backing down. Malphas smiled, a slow, jagged thing. Good. He raised one taloned hand. The shadows behind him trembled like creatures waiting for a command. And then, inside the Kinsey complex, the strike continues. Move! Marcus shouted. A wave of black fire erupted from Malphas' palm, sweeping across the chamber. The teens dove, rolled, and scattered as heat roared over them. Deshaun ducked behind a pillar. What kind of demon breathes fire? Luis shouted back, man, all of them. Jasmine pressed her hand to the ground and whispered, Psalm chapter 27 verse 1, The Lord is the strength of my life. Light flared under her palm, rippling outward like a shockwave. The fire dimmed, slowed, then split around them, not extinguished, but weakened. Malphas snarled. Kiara stepped forward, voice shaking but rising, when the wicked, even my enemies, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. More gold light filled the chamber. The oppressive heat cracked. David inhaled sharply, their unity was working. For the moment. But Malphas was far from done. Pastor Elijah feels the battle shift. Back at the sanctuary, the candles flickered violently. Pastor Elijah jerked upright, sweat running down his brow. He staggered to the altar, gripping it as an invisible pressure pressed against his chest. No, Lord. Not yet. Don't let them break. He could feel them, their fear, their shaking resolve, their spiritual stamina draining like leaking water. He lifted both hands and began praying in scripture, not softly this time, but with desperate force. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. The room boomed. Thunder cracked somewhere outside the church. The spiritual atmosphere shifted. Angels stirred. And Pastor Elijah pressed on. Strengthen the little ones. Hold their minds steady. Do not let the enemy fracture their unity. A gust of wind blew through the sanctuary, but the doors never opened. Something unseen had entered the battle. Malphas' point of view, the storm behind his eyes. Malphas paused mid-step. He felt it. A surge, a countercurrent, rising miles away. Elijah, he growled. The teens froze at the name. Malphas lifted his wings slightly, sensing the spiritual reinforcement flowing toward them like invisible reinforcements. He dares to interfere, Malphas hissed. He dares to bolster you. He raised both arms. Shadows erupted in spiraling columns. From Malphas' perspective, the complex bent at his will. Walls twisted. Light warped. Reality thinned. This wasn't just darkness. It was domain authority. His domain. They think unity will save them, Malphas whispered, eyes flaring. Then let's see what happens when I strip it away. He commanded the shadows. The chamber split into corridors, violent, shifting mazes of blackened steel. And suddenly, the Bible squad is separated. Marcus reached for Jasmine, Jasmine reached for David, Kiara screamed for Luis, Deshaun sprinted toward Marcus. And the shadows tore them apart. Walls slammed between them. Paths twisted instantly. The teen was separated into 6 different corridors, each alone, each facing a different distortion. Marcus shouted, no. Stay together. His voice was swallowed by the dark. David shouted prayers, but his words echoed back distorted and mocking. Kiara's light flickered like a dying candle. Jasmine heard whispers that sounded like her own thoughts, but corrupted. Luis felt something crawling across the ceiling above him. Deshaun's fists trembled, rage and fear fighting inside him. And Malfa's laughter rolled through the hallways like a collapsing building. Little lights, let's extinguish you, one by one. Each teen alone. Each corridor a trap. Pastor Elijah battling spiritually from miles away. Malfa's tightening the net. And Chicago, still trembling in unseen warfare.